Hey gang, it's a foggy morning here in California. Just heading north to San Francisco area, Sacramento, to shoot some stories. Stopped here at a place called Adelaida. Town that was once here, I think it's still called that. There's only two things remaining: the schoolhouse, which is right behind me, and the cemetery. And the cemetery has a very interesting story. Cemetery is about 4 miles more down the road, so of course we're on our way there. And it's a beautiful country here. We're about 10 miles west of Paso Robles, passing through there. Like I said, about 15 miles off the Pacific Ocean. Still got the fog rolling in. So let's head to the cemetery and I'll tell you a little bit about this story. Spooky place. Alright gang, we are approaching the cemetery here. Beautiful area. I can see, just looking up the hill here, there looks to be some type of monuments up there. From what I understand, there's a cemetery up there, and the lower part of the cemetery is right up here. So let's pull over and have a look. Alright, look at, they put a nice Christmas wreath there, right up front. Alright, seatbelts off. Let's have a look. Yeah, Adelaida Cemetery, it says up there. Looks like we can get in here. Not much down here. A sprinkling of graves over here, it looks like. So let's take a look around. I'll tell you one thing I see is these, looks like gopher holes or prairie dog holes everywhere. We have to really watch our step. Looks like a caretaker's house here. I'll have to check that out. No trespassing. Open sunrise to sunset. No entry after dark. Huh? You think that's stopping anyone? Well, we're looking for a certain grave, and I'm betting it's on the top section. Let's have a look here first. Well, here are the names. Her name is Charlotte Sitton. I wonder if her name would be on here. So let's see. Well, they don't seem to be in any. There's some alphabetical order, but I don't see any S's. There's Soto. Just kind of skips around. I don't see any S's. I am betting this is for down here. Oh, interesting. Look at, there's like benches in here. I'll bet this is for when, in the old days when there were memorials, maybe the relatives, the family would sit in here? I don't know. Yeah, just a bunch of prairie dog holes all over. Very few graves. Looks like there's a couple, 3 over here. Well, Let's go this way. I'll tell you a little bit about this place. I want to give a shout out to Dustin Burrell, one of our viewers, who gave me this story. Now, this stunning area here, we're in wine country, was first settled in 1859 by a man named James Lynch. He was a sheep rancher, and all the pioneers came here. The perfect weather, everything was growing. Population eventually reached the size of 700 people scattered in this area. And they were here because it was a haven. Farms and ranches, and there were also mercury mines. And that drew a lot of people here, the mining. Look at this. Looks like the gophers or the prairie dogs. There was something living. Look at that. The hole right, they found that hole right there. Animals are so resilient and intuitive. The old trail to Mission San Miguel that was originally opened in 1797 was used here in the 1860s, so they could ship that mercury out of here. I had a post office here in 1887, and then in the 1890s, Mennonite Christians of the German origin populated the area. The Mennonites, like the Amish. We'll talk about that. Very similar. It is said that the mercury from the mines still runs off into the water supply here, causing the wild animals that drink from the pools and lakes to behave oddly. And when the full moon's out, right? It must really get crazy around here. Well, it's a very interesting place as I look here. Now look at, there's like a picture frame here behind this stone. No picture. So these are the more recent. Down here it looks like, yeah, veterans, two veterans here. World War II. Both dying, let's see, 1991, and Mary died in 1987, so she was a corporal. So they were husband and wife serving. It's a nice stone here. Horses, 1950 to 2003. Beloved artist wife. Isn't that beautiful? Well, again, see, the animals are really burrowing in here, having a field day. These graves. So this is kind of a haunted place, it is said. A lot of stories here. A lot of people coming here at night experiencing really frightening things. They say that there's a strange mist that develops here. Well, obviously, you have the fog that always rolls in. I mean, we're not that far from the ocean. But they see scarlet eyes, and when you're walking, the sounds of footsteps are following you. Now, the cemetery also has what they describe as a bleeding tree. And I'll tell you, this tree right here caught my eye from the moment I just walked through the gate. Now, what's odd about this tree is, you probably can't tell, just from the video. I'm going uphill here. Gotta really watch my step with these holes. It's very old and very fat, and it's like stunted. Again, this tree is maybe 30 feet high at the most. I think it's an oak, but it's really old. I mean, the diameter of this trunk has to be 4 to 5 feet. And look at the bark. Looks prehistoric. Huh? Look how big these chunks are. This has to be super old. I wonder if this is the bleeding tree. What do you think? Be great for a treehouse. I'll tell you that. All right, so I think we're going to venture up there. I think there's a lot more graves up there. So this woman, Charlotte Sitton, we're going to talk about her, but she's the crying woman of Adelaida Cemetery. And she comes out here at night, and I'll tell you why. So we'll go up there. Let's make the climb and have a look. Well, we found the cemetery here at the top of the hill. A lot of old graves here. We are up in the fog. (1894) it looks like. Yeah, well, let's walk around. I think let's go this way. There's a trail over here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Charlotte. So Charlotte was a Mennonite woman. As I said, Mennonite, very similar to Amish. The Mennonite and Amish churches, as you may know, are Anabaptists, and their roots are from Europe, coming over. Really started with the Protestant Reformation. That was Martin Luther in the early 1500s. Now, unlike the Amish, Mennonites, they are allowed to have motorized vehicles, where the Amish have to have horses. Also, they're allowed to have electricity and telephones. So, a little distinction. Otherwise, I think faith and practice is pretty much the same. See some graves over this way. Let's take a look. So yeah, Charlotte was only 19. And she was the wife of a minister here. Now, her children, they had 2 children, and they sadly died of diphtheria. There was an epidemic, as in many places. And she was so distraught that in 1889, they say she hung herself in that schoolhouse that we saw. That schoolhouse was relocated there. That's not the original location, but that is the schoolhouse where she hanged herself. Big family plot for DuBost here. Yeah, so that's what happened, I guess. And we're looking for her grave. Now there are some pictures on Find a Grave that I saw. One is of her full stone, and one looks like her stone maybe later was cracked off. Interesting. Dear Tally, you have taken with you the happiness of the ones who loved you. Oh, how sad. Beautiful stone. So that's, I guess, where it happened. In the schoolhouse. Look at this. Who knows who was buried here? I wonder if there's a name on this side. No, just some lichen. Let's see. More graves here. Let's look for her. Now her grave is surrounded by rocks. Look at this. This is just a piece of wood here. It's all that's left. So amongst the prairie dog holes, look at this, they're everywhere. And we'll see if we can find her. And we'll look at some of these names. It is said she comes out here, I think it was Friday nights at a certain time, around midnight, to lay flowers at her children's graves. They are supposedly buried next to her here. Now her stone, let's navigate our way through this here. What are these berries, guys? Pretty cool. These are beautiful, huh? It is December of 2023 as I shoot this. Her stone looks a little like, it's kind of like these here, but this is not it. The curve on top is more gentle. But let's double check. No, this says pool. Wonder who's buried here. Just a jumbled pile of rocks. Fanny Pool. She died in 1914, Dorothy, 1979. And Juanita is still alive, who was born in 1938. So that's not her, not Charlotte. Let's keep looking for Charlotte, guys. There's another grouping over here. Maybe she's over here. Watch your step if you come here. There are holes everywhere. They say she was initially unmarked because she took her own life, you know. They hushed that up, especially, you know, everyone was very devout back then. Look at this back here. There's a stone way back there but I can see it's a veteran, so that couldn't be her. Yeah, probably hushed up and maybe marked later, because the picture on Find a Grave looks like, it looks like a very old stone, but you know, maybe, who knows? Maybe it wasn't hushed up. Maybe she never hanged herself. You know, these are legends. Oh, look back here. Here we go. Look back here. They caught a picture of her. We'll talk about that. Somebody during the daytime. Very intriguing picture I will share. This looks like a wood. No, that's stone, but that's not her. Let's go this way. We'll find her. We've got to find her. Yeah, I think it was Friday nights between 10 and 11:30 p.m. She'd lay the flowers by the grave. And other times they see her just wandering through. Weeping. Maybe down by that weeping tree. I don't know. Here's a couple family plots. Nope. I'm not seeing... Well, you know what? One of the pictures has her stone is cracked in half and most of it gone. Maybe they took it away because of all the vandals. Maybe they took it away for preservation. Maybe it's in the schoolhouse, which is a historic center now. But there's another picture that showed this. Maybe we should be looking for that. Should have been looking for that. But the other telltale, and I haven't seen it, is that her grave is surrounded by a lot of rocks, like a big border. And I see one up ahead here, although it looks too big. It's kind of where we first started, over here. Yeah, we looked at this stone here. All right, last chance of this row here. It's an interesting stone. Monument. Mary K. Burnett. She died in 1878, 48 years old. Oh, here is some rocks. Here. I think this is it, guys. Yeah, this matches the one of the pictures. This has got to be it. And it looks like, so the original picture had the full stone with no concrete base. It was just buried way in the ground, and I believe it was buried about where this crack is, because let's see what this says. To dwell in that celestial land where joyous immortal flow. Interesting. And that matches one of the pictures on Find a Grave. So, and it looks like, so what they did is they came back and they took the stone, the top part of the stone away, and put the bottom part set in concrete. I'm betting that this is where she is. Now, if she's here, it says she was buried next to her children. Now there is a grave here of a child, but that says son of, that's not the, it looks like it says Ernie's, I'm not sure. That's not it. But as I look to the left of her grave, Charlotte's, there's 2 open spots. So I'm betting where these prairie dog holes diggings are, that this is where the children are. Next to Charlotte right here, the crying woman. Looks like people have been here leaving things. So, rest in peace to Charlotte and the children. But I'll tell you, I could not imagine coming here at night. Look at these hills and fields. Very spooky. Just imagine she's wandering tonight.